If you weren't making these films, what would you be doing?
You know, it's a good question. I think about that a lot. I feel like I always had a dream that I would be like in behind the scenes in politics. Like that's kind of what that political film Spin is about the guy behind the guy, kind of working the world.
Grooming him.
Yeah, yeah, trying to make good things happen from afar. And I don't know, I like that idea. I mean, I liked it a lot better about 3 months ago. But, I think there's a need for it and people that are willing to fight, to get in the game and be brave and, stand for something. I like all that stuff. And I try to do that on my sets. I try to do that with my films, but we need it just in the world. We just need people that are willing to take a stand.
Well, in a lot of sense, that is a director. The
Yeah.
person that you're talking about. I don't know. It's not a spin doctor, but it's somebody that's grooming and giving advice and
Right.
to a politician.
It's a little more paternal, I guess, than most spin doctors or whatever. But it's the same thing. It's like I'm taking care of my guy. Like my actors, they're my guys.
Right.
It's like I'm not going to let them get hurt. I'm not going to let them look bad. Like we're trying to do something bigger, and what I want is the raising tide raises all boats. That's what we want. We want everybody going up with us. You know what I mean? That's kind of off topic, but that's what I feel like the job of the director is like you're protecting the movie and you're protecting your team. And if anything goes wrong in that, it's a director's job to either nip it in the bud, or fix it.
Well, so that whoever that spin doctor, more paternal spin doctor role is, my sense is if you really wanted to do it, you would have done it by now, because you strike me as the type that sets out to do whatever you plan.
Yeah, well, I love what I do. I really love what I do. I mean, like getting to tell stories and then having a team that you believe in that believes in you. I mean, it's worth its weight in gold. It really is. And it means a lot to me. I could do this if I could make a movie a year. I'd be a happy guy, It's like doing a movie every 4 years is trying, but, a lot of people haven't done 4 movies,
No,
I have, and I love doing it. I'll do it as long as people let me.
Well, you mentioned earlier that you're about to turn 40, or?
I'm about to turn 41.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
you're a very young 40.
Hey, thank
so,
you.
But and you recalled how wow, I did something for 20 years. I'm sure over that course of time you've considered doing other things, but because you love it and you're willing to stick it out, whether it's a challenge or whether it's great, you've realized that this is what I'm probably supposed to be doing.
I kind of, I had this moment where I was thinking about like where I am, where do I want to be, I guess that's stuff that you do when you turn 40, and I was like, I've kind of gone too far to throw it away, I'm not really interested in changing what I do, but like now I have, like I said, I have 4 features, I have 8 produced screenplays. Like people will follow me and make a movie because I've done it before. And what am I gonna do? Be like, well, I'm kind of at the top of this whole indie film game, so I'm gonna set off and teach history now. It's just, I feel like I'm pretty locked into this, and I like it, and I keep working and doing new things. I'm doing a play this summer that will be some musical, so that's new for me.
Nice.
But
Here
like
in LA? Sorry.
no, it's in Louisiana, at this Equity House down there. But
Great.
like I have not done a musical since I was 9 years old. So I love doing new things and like challenging myself and like trying to keep the art popping and do things that scare me.
Yeah, I think that's really important. Because,
I think so too.
Yeah, and with that comes some low times and then some really high times, because those lows are so bad. And then when stuff works, you go, it was worth it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, and I have friends who don't understand my life at all, because the peaks are so high and the valleys are very low, but like the peaks are great, man. Like, I tell you what, like standing, being in Park City, standing next to Mark Harmon, at a film festival, or like being in the middle of Texas making a movie with Sam Shepard, or like wearing a tuxedo at a red carpet event in a movie palace that was built in 1925 for Cut to the Chase in Shreveport, Louisiana. I mean, that stuff is tried. My bucket list is pretty good. You know what I mean? You know, it's got its downsides too, but like I really like the ride.
And with that, if someone were to take that snapshot of that tuxedo moment on the red carpet, they probably would think, wow, this is cool. Like,
Yeah.
But they don't see all the hard work that got
Right.
you to that point, and the crowdfunding. How long was the campaign?
What is 3 months normally, something like that?
3 months? Okay. So all that took to
Yeah.
get that money, plus you said you had some extra money.
Oh yeah, then
you know,
was raising money from that point, from the time that we got the Kickstarter money, all the way until I raised more money for distribution 3 weeks ago.
Right. So if you were to take that snapshot, let's say it's a movie of Blayne
Yeah.
Weaver's life,
Yeah.
and then you backtrack though, and there was a lot of at the computer alone,
Yeah.
without the wine, with the coffee.
Right.
You know.
Well, you know, I mean, what's funny is like that's kind of our reality now, isn't it? You know, with like the Facebook and the Instagram and the Twitter, is like I show people what I want them to see, you know, and not exactly what, like it's just I'm marketing me like I market my films. And I think it's very important, and I think that a lot of filmmakers don't do it to their detriment. Because we mentioned earlier the brand, my brand, you know. I feel like it has a lot to do with why people will buy the movie, you know, will show up for the Q&A, will, you know, and you gotta keep that marketing going as well. A friend of mine runs a theater, you know, and we do very much the same thing, you know. He's a theater guy, you know, I'm mostly in film, but like we're doing the same thing all the time. We're, you know, telling people what our company is, what it stands for, what kind of work we're doing, and why you should want to be a part of it. You know what I mean? And like I know filmmakers who just like, I don't know how you raise money. I'm like, well, if you try and you learn, then you have the power. Otherwise, you have to find somebody with power and ask them, you know, for permission. If you take it yourself, you know, I don't have to ask for permission for anyone, you know? And it's a great place to be as far as art goes.
Why do you think a lot of filmmakers don't want to do it? Just because it's time consuming, it's scary?
Yes, I think absolutely. I mean, it's kind of gross, you know? It's like there's lots of stuff that goes into, you know, dealing with the financing that is not Fonzie, you know? Like there's, I mean, you know, Fonzie shows up. I did this work with an actor once, and I had just done a Kickstarter kind of thing, and I was, you know, and he's just like, man, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't, you know, put myself out there and ask for money and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, the good thing is if I make a movie, nobody remembers that I bugged them on Facebook. You know, they just remember, hey, I gave $5 to this guy. There's my movie, you know? But people are really reluctant to go out on a limb. Everybody wants to be the sure thing, you know? And I just... It really is hard. When you're seeking money, everybody says no until they don't. You know, and that's really what it is. But like that freedom, that being able to be the person who, like, I put this financing together, you know, this is my baby. So I don't have to listen to a studio who says, actually, Blayne, we're going with somebody who's with CAA and is a little hotter than you right now for this directing gig. Thanks a lot for the script. And they can do that. They can just, you know, push me right out the door. But nobody pushes baby in the corner. You know what I mean? I messed that line up. But anyways, I like it. I like it. And I just hope that financiers keep believing in me.
And just real quickly, what is the Fonzie analogy? I love this.
Yeah. well, I mean, you know, we were talking earlier about LA versus New York, and I feel like LA is a very Fonzie culture. They want, you know, somebody to come in and just, I didn't practice at all. I haven't had time to look at this, but I'm just really cool. I might be cooler than you are, you know? And New York, they really want the kind of nerdy, you know, I've been preparing for this meeting for 6 months. You know, they want to know that you've got it together and that you take it seriously. I just think it's a funny combo. And I've been lucky enough to work with some really great actors who, you know, can do both, you know, or make it look easy breezy, just pop in. Like Patrick J. Adams is a great example. He's on Suits now, and I've done 2 movies with Patrick, and he's totally Fonzied out. And then in his hotel room the night before he works, he is Marlon Brandoing that stuff, practicing, you know, getting ready, but then everything's just as easy breezy and, you know, natural as could possibly be, you know?
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
That's great. Any millennials out there, watch Happy Days to see who Fonzie is, and you'll know what we're talking about.
Fonzie, I don't get it.
Grew up on that show.
Right.
Okay.